Good morning, dear hearts. I've been away a while, and some have actually missed me. Good morning, Lisa. Today's lesson is 169. By grace I live, by grace I am released. Grace is an amazing term. It's a word that has multiple meanings, and yet they all really converge into one real thought. Grace is a prayer. It's a prayer that we will often say over our food before we eat. We say grace. Grace is mercy. Grace is a grace period, okay? If you forgot to make that car payment, you have a grace period of 7 days, whatever. Grace is a term of reverence. It's used to say, your grace, in addressing someone of a higher order. It's elegance, it's beauty. Grace Kelly was said to, be so beautiful and had so much grace about her, besides it being her first name. Audrey Hepburn walked in grace. She was such a beautiful, enlightened being on the inside and out. She had a gracefulness about her. Grace is what's proper, what's real. It's free, unmerited love of God, and it's the reconciliation to God. Those last two terms perhaps or definitions are perhaps the ones that blend best with this lesson. Grace is an aspect of the love of God, okay, which is a state that prevails in unity and truth. And it's the acceptance of the love of God within a world seemingly filled with hate and fear, okay. Grace is what heals the separation forever. And it reverses time, and it's the time in which we believe separation was. Carolyn Mays talks about grace chips that are acquired through her right living, her religious living and belief. And grace chips were something that she could cash in because she had received this mercy, okay, from right living, from her reconciliation to God. That's my interpretation when I heard stories that she told many years ago on tapes in the car. Grace is what defines the holy instant for us. Holy instances are states of grace in which time collapses, because in the holy instant, all we see is the face of Christ. That's grace. When we experience the holy instant, we come back to this world, at least for now. But we bring with us that experience. And so those are perhaps our grace chips that we accumulate. And what happens with that is we are able to extend that grace to others. Obviously, grace is filled with love, with reverence, with beauty. Now, this lesson has a wonderful line. It says, there's no need to further clarify what no one in the world can understand. And it really is in a way beyond our comprehension. And grace, like truth, will dawn upon us, and we will have that experience. I can't make a holy instant occur. I can't make myself experience a state of grace. But I can allow these things to come into my life. And as I see with real eyes, what has occurred, I can share that experience with others. That is me fulfilling my purpose, my true function here, to be in that state of grace and to have my own ministry. My ministry would be all of those that I extend grace and love and forgiveness, of course, to. The last 2 lines of this lesson, which is in italics, so we know it really is a prayer, says, "By grace I live, by grace I am released, by grace I give, by grace I will release." Okay, it's a beautiful lesson. The concept of grace is so vast, and I don't believe something that can very easily be understood, as the lesson says, but I believe it can be experienced. I hope you have a grace-filled day. Namaste. Good morning, dear hearts. I've been away a while, and some have actually missed me. Good morning, Lisa. Today's lesson is 169. By grace I live, by grace I am released. Grace is an amazing term. It's a word that has multiple meanings, and yet they all really converge into one real thought. Grace is a prayer. It's a prayer that we will often say over our food before we eat. We say grace. Grace is mercy. Grace is a grace period